YouTube and it'll, stay up. I'll treat it as a video. I am going to be talking about all of the suggestions that I have for Apex Legends, for the growth of Apex Legends. So, let me just do something real quick. So once we get into the game, I think I'll start discussing some suggestions that I think should be coming to Apex. Well, first of all, I guess I should address the fact that I think that there is some sort of drama between Asian players or the Asian community of Apex saying that, Valkyrie doesn't represent Asian culture at all, which I kind of agree with. Valkyrie doesn't really scream wise, or, They also stated that Wraith is like more of their culture, which I also agree with, Also, I don't really feel qualified to talk about this, so we'll just leave it at that because I am white as the clouds, so
Let's go this way.
Don't want to spark any controversy now, do we? Anyway, I think that just by season, what is it? Season 9 right now. I think by season 11, we should have community games, community servers or games. Because think about it, then you can stop making you can make updates less often because the community will just make them for you basically. And you can do whatever you can open up just so many possibilities for games. You can do like punch servers, only P2020s. It's just it could just be really epic for the growth of Apex. So that's one reason I should do community servers.
Wings up.
Yeah, I think community servers definitely is one of them. Because, like, if, for example, Fortnite, which is a game that I really hate, do not like Fortnite much. The only time I've ever played it on this channel is because I wanted views. Yeah, so, I think, but though Fortnite is the bane of my existence, their community game system creative is extremely well-rounded. There could not be a better system. And I think if Apex took, a little bit of took a little bit of ideas from Fortnite with the system, or it doesn't even have to be anything like Fortnite, which I hope it isn't. But I just think that you could take some, you could take some, inspiration from Fortnite in that area. Because, they really pulled it off well.
Charging on my shield. Wings out. Here, back to chain coming. Reloading. Got one. Enemy down. Wings up. Bogey right here. Wings out. Contact.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I think community games could really cool. I mean, like, with how talented people are, you could have tons of awesome game modes like team deathmatch. I mean, you wouldn't really have to do anything. Community would do it all for you. And as someone who is trying to get into game development myself, I can understand how hard it is to update an entire game every couple months. With the amount of people working on Apex, it's really quite a miracle that we have the updates as they are. So, I mean, if you didn't like Season 9, just remember that making an update for an entire game with this much new content takes a lot of work. So, props to you guys at the Apex development team. I mean, like, I really do like this game very much. Next suggestion is, I'm not sure if this is just me, but lately I've been getting a lot of teammates or enemy teams with the gamer tag that says just player, like nothing else. And I'm not sure, I haven't really done any research on that, like if that's the new, it's like that's the new anonymous or something like that. Because I also haven't been saying any anonymous name tags recently, so I mean, maybe that's it. But I think that should be fixed. Also, I think the reporting system could be a little better. I do understand that they added smurfing to the reporting system, which is, I think, yeah, that's a good idea. Smurfing is definitely very annoying. Yeah, I think that's definitely a step in the right direction for the what's it called? For the reporting system. I also really want to bring back the quests, because I really enjoyed the quests, and so did a lot of other people that I know. They really enjoyed the quests. Like the gaming merchant also really wanted the quests back, so I think I think you should put back the quest, because I really enjoyed it, and I think it's cool to have, like, especially at that time when there was only Battle Royale, I think it's really cool to have a mode, like, other than Battle Royale to choose from. And this is why I've really, this season really brought me back to Apex, because for a while I haven't really been playing Apex very much. But because, I mean, me and the majority of the Apex, like, the people who are really well off in Apex, they're pretty decently good at the game. I mean, we don't really care for Battle Royale that much. I personally play Apex for the fantastic gunplay and incredible movement. So, I think the arena is a really, good spice up to Apex. And if they don't end up making community games by Season 11, I at least want another permanent mode like arenas. I was thinking like maybe like a search and destroy type thing, or like capture an objective, capture the flag. Or, I mean, I really don't see the why you wouldn't want to just add community games. Like, there are just so many ideas I have, like boxing servers where you just only have fists. Or, what else we got here? Like, P2020 only servers where you only have P2020s, or like one-shot servers where you only have one health. I mean, there's just so much stuff. Or you could movement servers, like B-hop courses. I mean, you could do all kinds of stuff. Like, look at a game like I think Fortnite was kind of a bad example. Like, a game like TF2. Where there were like rocket jumping courses everywhere, and there was just so much stuff to do, and really never gotten old, because on top of all the tons of game modes, there was also a really great community system in place that really just made it new and flavorful every single time you played. So, that's why I also really do like TF2, which they had a great system for, you know, community games. So I think that the future of Apex definitely relies heavily on community servers, because, you know, I just think that community servers are just a really great thing in general. I really don't know why no more games make them, like, you know, none of the mainstream like community games really kind of just had a falling out, and not many people use them anymore. Not many games use them. I think also TF2, Halo 3, Overwatch, all of those games have really great community systems. I just use a pistol. Yeah, I think that if you
Reloading. So let's get you a do-over, huh? There's a swarm, mates. Wings out. I've gotcha. Hey, how about no more dying today?
ah, darn it. Yeah, I think community games is definitely a big one. Also, I think that more people should be added to the, you know, the Apex team to make updates more flavorful, like more fresh eyes. I also did like the fact that many large, you know, large professionals like Moki and the Gaming Merchant got to, you know, playtest before. I think that's definitely a great take on it. Also, can I just say that I really admired what you did with Forge. Like, you made a complete character for data miners to find, and then just realized that it was all fake. I think that was definitely a legendary strategy made by Napoleon himself. Yeah. Also, I mean, like the fact that Apex has, you know, almost has, you know, outnumbered Fortnite in just sheer players is really great for me. Also, I also think that for the Battle Royale mode, you should just make the full rotation. I think you should add all the maps. I think you should add every single map to the rotation. World's Edge, Olympus, and King's Canyon. Also add back Train. Everyone wants to all my friends want Train back, because Train was one of the coolest places ever. I mean, you've already taken Skulltown from us, why do you not just add Train?
I'm cover for you, mate. Backing up my cover.
Yeah, I think you should definitely. mean, that's pretty much just fantasizing, though. I mean, you don't have to add back train to Olympus to make the cycle better. I just think you should make, and you should make, and you should either, you know, like every season, if you just kept all the maps the same, and made it so that every season, like, something, a little bit of a change, like how in Season 8, you know, Fuse took over the, Mad Maggie blew up half the arena or whatever, and created 2 new areas, the crash site, and, I forget what the other place was called. I like that. That's a good idea, but I think you should definitely add all the matches, all the maps to the, you know, game cycle. I also am really hyped for, Gardens, for, what's that place called? It's like, I think it's called, I'm not too sure what it's called, but, you know, the garden map in arenas, I'm really excited for that. I think that Olympus should definitely have some exclusive maps like Party Crasher. I really like Party Crasher. I like Party Crasher a lot, so, you know, I think that arenas should get some more permanent maps just for arenas, so people have like, if people who like Battle Royale and don't really like arenas, they still have, you know, a reason to try it, because you get to play a whole new map. Although, I don't really like artillery for arenas. I don't really like artillery. But, I mean, you can't take the good without the bad, right? But I do think, as the gaming merchant said, that it is definitely good to have some, like, known maps, known places that people, like, have fought in before, so they, you know, have some sort of rehabilitation, because whenever I get a fight in Gardens, I love the Gardens is just such a, it just meant the structure of the platforms and the building in the middle, it makes it so fun and interesting to fight in, because there's high ground on both sides, so anyone can take the high ground if they want, and there's a place to dip into if you want to try and play defensively. You can dip into the building behind you, or you can dip into the building in front of you and try and take control that way. I mean, there's just so many options, and I'm sure I can't be the only one who thinks that fighting in Gardens is absolutely awesome. Every time I fought in Gardens, I've had a great time, even if I've lost or won. So I think I'm definitely hyped for that.
Wings up. Round 1.
Also, my opinion on Valkyrie is that she does not need a buff. I think that she's pretty fine how she is. Just people will need to learn how to look up, because until now there really hasn't been a legend who, you know, how do you become who have you.
Box 3, I got radar locked.
Who has forced you to look up, you know? There hasn't been a legend who has forced you to look up. I also think that Valkyrie is definitely a spicy addition, story-wise, and that you should definitely continue making the comics and or the quests, so, because I really do enjoy reading the comics, although sometimes they're a little hard to understand. So, I mean, that's something you could work on, but I'm really not complaining on the lore side. Apex is one of the only games that it's like a AAA game and is multiplayer with lore that I know of, besides Overwatch, and Overwatch's lore doesn't really update much, so I really do like that Apex is a very story-based game. It's not story-based, but it has a story that you can follow, and you can get to know the characters outside the arena, and I think that's really cool.
Materials, check.
Revenant, this poor Revenant, man. You know, he's made a sliver of health.
Recharging shields.
Got me. Also, I think Arenas is like near perfect. I know this has been the rockiest season launch in the history of all of Apex, but I think that once all the servers, you know, chill out, they already have pretty much cooled down, but once they really just ease into where they want to be, I think that Arenas will dominate Apex. I think that everyone will be trying to play Arenas. Oh, actually, hold on. I've forgot one of my main points that I wrote down here. I think that there should be more skill-based matchmaking in Arenas, because I'm either paired against level 500s who absolutely dominate me, or I'm paired against level 30s who I absolutely dominate. So I think that everyone should be paired with similar levels, and it shouldn't be based on how well you did in your last game, since in Arenas it's either you win or you lose. There is no third, fourth place. So I think that system will have to be revised at least a little bit.
Hold tight. I got your back. Contact. Hostile right here. Care package incoming. Hostile close. Watch your back. Hostile over there.
Slash one, bogey down.
Reloading. Contact.
Got him. Alright. Let's see, what else should we make suggestions on? What could be better in Apex? Oh, so actually there's an Epicenter in the background, and speaking of Epicenter, I think Epicenter would make a great Arenas map. It has a similar layout to, you know, it has a similar layout to Lava City, and you know, I think that the mountains and all the cover could be really interesting to fight against. And Epicenter, also all the fights I've had in Epicenter have been really, really awesome. Like, you get a really good fight in Epicenter, I think that's really golden. Or on World's Edge, I forget what it's called, man, but the swampy area, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. The swampy area with all the houses in World's Edge, not near containment, but on the edge of the map, where Nessie spawns. If you get all the eggs or all the plushies, then that's where it spawns. I think that place right there would be a golden place to. Actually, I don't think it's on World's Edge. I think it's on. Kings Canyon. But anyway, I think that spot would be golden to fight in. I think that I would have tons of fun fighting in that swamp area. Also, I think that we should try and you should try and lay off the LTMs and try and make more permanent modes, or make the LTMs for longer, like maybe an LTM for a month or more than a week. I'm just saying, because the Flashpoint I only got to play, I don't know, maybe a few days of, but I loved the Flashpoint LTM. I think it was my favorite LTM hands down. I really liked Shadowfall just because of the wall running. As someone who's played Titanfall for a long time, I really loved Titanfall. Raw funny, not Titanfall. What's that called? You know, gosh, what is that called, dude? I keep on forgetting all these modes. It's Shadowfall. Yeah, I really loved the Shadowfall. I got to, you know, it was like experiencing Titanfall 2 all over again, and I thought that experience was very pleasureful. Okay, I'm dead. It's a 1v3. But, you know. Okay, cool. I'm dropping in solo. Actually, do I have it on no fill?
Well, everything.
Yeah. I mean, I think that you could pretty much, I think if you really tried hard enough, you can make Yeah, actually, never mind. Hold that point. I think we're going back to the laying off the LTMs. I think that if you laid off the LTMs and started making more permanent modes, like arenas, because arenas were very, very cool in my opinion. They were probably the coolest thing that's ever happened to Apex. So, I think that you should definitely try and make more of that. Try and give the community more of what they want. And also with arenas, I think that if you really tried hard enough, you can make pretty much whatever place you wanted into a arenas map. Like, I would love containment. Containment is my favorite place, hands down. Market is definitely a great place to put in. Okay, I crashed. Market and containment are both really great maps, like layouts for arenas. I think market may be a little bit cramped, but market and containment are my two favorite places. So I think a lot of people also like containment too, because there's just a lot of stuff to play around in containment, and it's very it's very movement based place to be. There's tons of walls for wall jumps, and also a lot of open space for dodging bullets and bee hopping. And even for the people who are more skilled at combat and not movements, there's small cramped buildings for people who can really hit their shots and excel.
Valkyrie on station, ready for anything. Hell, everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you should add more of maps that people know. Also, I think that it wouldn't hurt to add maps that are new, like Party Crasher. Party Crasher is pretty cool. But I think that definitely before you start adding brand new stuff, you should start adding stuff that the community already knows. Like Epicenter, Market, Containment. I'm sure Storage would be a really cool place to fight. Harvester. I think Fragment would be in. I think Fragment wouldn't really work, but if you did make some way for Fragment to work, I think that could be very cool. Because Fragment is definitely one of my favorite places. Fragment is where I landed the first game I ever played Apex. So that's pretty cool. Also, I really did like during the War Games event where there were multiple hot drops, because the more hot drops there are, the less campers there are. Because I've been seeing a lot of campers lately. It's probably all the Warzone players migrating to Apex.
Need light ammo. Nice. Safe to touch down. We're already in the next ring. Wow, first blood. Nothing crashing and burning on takeoff. Wings up.
Is that a purple shield? My goodness. Amazing. Falling on a budget.
Wings out.
Also, I saw somewhere that there was gonna be like a wall running ability, like they were gonna add Blisk to Apex, and he was gonna have a wall running ability as his passive. And I think that if we do ever add wall running to Apex, it cannot be a passive, because wall running is just too OP.
Let's bring him home.
I think it would have to be a time limit tactical or something.
Grenade. Wings out.
crit them? Alright, get out of here. Gosh, bro.
Wings up.
You're dead. I'm dead. Goodbye.
I'm sorry, but you could have killed my friends.
Yep. I think that's pretty much all the suggestions I have for right now. I'm not sure if I already said this, but I definitely think that wall running has to be a tactical, not a passive, like Octane Stim. I think if you could wall run for about, like, if it was some sort of Stim type ability, where you could wall run for about as long as Octane Stim, I think that could be cool. Like, you could wall run, like, maybe 1 or 2 walls before you couldn't wall run anymore. I think that's it. Also, on the Dynamine, I thought I saw, like, the ultimate is, like, an area of effect type of Titan thing. So I thought that I think that's a fine idea. I think that could definitely be cool.
Wait until you see the world from my point of view.
I also do really like that they're adding more Titanfall to Apex because
Good luck. Have fun.
I really like Titanfall, and I also really like Apex. They both have incredible movement capabilities, and I really admire movement shooters.
This is your chance.
I think that it's a genre that needs to be brought back, because I think that movement shooters have had a bit of a falling out since Halo and Titanfall were in their
Jump
prime.
master. I'll take it from here. Let's make a varsity play for the day.
So I mean I think that if you're an aspiring dev, I plan to make a movement shooter. And if you watch Danny, I played the beta of Carlson, and I can say with confidence that I am excited for Carlson, the movement shooter. I think that the world needs more movement shooters.
They're shooting at me? Frag out. Fíjate, another squad is attacking us. Ah, this is taking too long.
Wings out.
Taking damage.
Air battle.
Down, down.
I am down.
Wings up.
Oh, I thought I switched my peacekeeper. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, I think that you should that Apex should release more movement-based legends, because when Horizon launched, I think all the movement-based legends, except for Wraith's pretty much the only exception. I think all the movement-based legends are really the big ticket items. Like when Horizon first launched, everyone wanted to be Horizon. Horizon was, Horizon was like one of the best characters out there. And Octane's launch was kind of meh, and he wasn't that good. But once they made him a little more powerful and gave him some better stats, he really excelled in the arena. And now I see tons of Octanes playing. And now Valkyrie is I see tons of Valkyries out in the arena and out in the games, and I really think that movement legends dominate the arena. And even during season 1, which I barely played during season 1, I had just gotten Apex and wasn't really that big into it. But from what I've heard, Pathfinder and Wraith both dominated season 1. You're either seeing Pathfinder, Wraiths, or Lifelines, and that's pretty much it. So I definitely think that movement legends should have a higher, a better light in the games. But I mean, if you, I mean, I also don't real, I also think that non-movement legends are fine. Like, I really did like Bangalore and Gilbert Trader and Bloodhound when I first started. And Crypto used to be my main for a really long time, so I think that you can definitely pull off a good non-movement legend. Just, you know, you really got to think about it. I think when I got Rampart after, you know, a couple days of playing her, I think I was really disappointed that, you know, I think that her release was just, you know, it was just flopped, I guess. It wasn't as good as it could have been. I think if Rampart released with the stats she had now, like the increased wall build-up time, then she definitely could have been a viable legend. And I also still think Rampart gets a major buff, because I mean, if you're not using if you're using Rampart, you're most likely a camper or someone who likes to set up a very large area to kill people in.
Introducing your champion.
So I mean, because I say that is because when I played Rampart, I mean, I'm a more aggro type player. I don't really like to sit back and gain information. I like to go in full force and push push as many people as possible. And, you know, I think that the moments when you really do get a good team to push and you completely dominate, I think those moments are really what fuel my love for Apex. So I think, you know, I think that her shield could, I mean, because like when I played Rampart, I would try and put her shield in like in a semi-battle situation where I was still kind of taking bullets, and I would just die instantly. There was no question, I would be dead. Okay, sweet, camper. Actually, I don't think that guy was camping. Yeah. Yeah. Alum. Oh, epic. That's not too bad. Who's this for? Oh, Wraith? Okay, cool. I'm down. Sure, that's cool too. Lola, sure, I don't have Lola. Yeah, I think that you should release Legends more powerful. You should release Legends OP. Like, I think Horizon was a very good launch, and Valkyrie was a very good launch. I mean, that's pretty much it, in my opinion. All the Legends that you've released before just came off the bat not powerful enough. They just didn't come out powerful enough. But when you do, you can release them as OP as you want. But you can debuff them as much as you want later. So I just think that you should release Legends off the bat, you know, more OP, because if someone gets, you know, a not good experience with, let's say they just got Crypto. Let's say this is season 4, I think it is, and they just got Crypto, and they're all excited. Like, actually, was Crypto season 4? I don't think it was. Anyway, let's say they just got Crypto, in whatever season he released, and they're super excited to play him. But then they play him a couple. Let's say they're like me and they're a more aggro type player. Then the first you know, experience they get with that legend is now bad, and they'll probably be less likely to come back to them.
I'm the jump master.
I mean, that kind of happened to me with Fuse. I just got Fuse and I was super excited, like, dang, Fuse is awesome. But then I quickly realized that his tactical just wasn't strong enough, and that kind of drove me away from Fuse. And now I play Fuse, you know, a couple times in Arena recently, and I can say with some pretty good confidence that he's a decent legend now. But that first experience probably would would have just kept me from playing him forever. So, I think you should definitely try and release Legends more powerful. Oh gosh, climb. There we go.
First blood.
Oh my gosh, I'm dead. Come on, Arcane. Ah! Darn. Yeah. Yeah, because I think that people who are skilled in Apex, like I think I would call myself a pretty, decent player. But as you can see, I'm not the best player in Battle Royale because, I think that, random chance definitely plays a big role in that. So, I mean, if you don't get like decent weapons, like there, I had a Peacekeeper, which I am not the best with Peacekeepers. I kind of prefer the Mastiff more, which I know will be like, what, for a lot of people, because the Peacekeeper just does more raw damage. But I like the Mozambique and the Mastiff more. But it's just my opinion. But like, if you don't get a gun that you're decent with, then I mean, like, what are you gonna do? I mean, pretty much the only option is to get as good as possible with as many guns as possible. But that's kind of hard for someone who's just started the game and only knows how to do just like semi-acceptable damage with a few weapons. That's why Battle Royale could be very, can turn a lot of players away. So I think that the newer modes are definitely a step in the right direction. I think that this whole season is definitely a monument to the skill of
Howdy, howdy. Gonna get rowdy.
yes. Yeah, I think that this entire season is definitely a monument to how much the devs can do. The Apex team.
We can cruise over here. Wings out.
Hey, you got the same crypto skin as me. I think you should work on the balancing of games in general. I think that your previous balancing system was definitely good for the Battle Royale genre, but it just won't work in arenas. You can't base player skills off of placements especially you can't base player skills off placements when there are only two different placements. So that means all the players who got second are going to be there, which means all the not very good players, and all the players who got first are going to be together. All of the good players, so it's just all the good players versus the bad players, and I don't think it's very hard to, you know, guess who is about to win. That's fine. I mean, that's as far as I understand how the placement system works.
Bogey spotted. Wings out. Wings up. Box 3, missile off the rails. Recharging shields.
Dang, these guys just know where we're at all the times, man.
Wings out. Reloading. Slash one.
That's why you don't do that.
I'm grounded.
That's why you pull out your secondary. Darn it.
Bogey in my crosshairs.
Actually,
Bogey in my crosshairs. Bandit here.
nice job, Fuse. 2v1. Don't mess it up, Pathfinder. Oh my gosh. Okay, now it's only 2 guys. I think we can win.
Hey, 1 point and they win. Give it all you got, mate.
Yep. I think that just like the main purpose of this is, you know, give constructed criticism. Why the heck are you using the Spitfire? That is a crime against humanity. Why the heck are you using the Spitfire? I think that, you know, I think that this season has been the best yet, no question. I think that arenas are probably the main reason why I came back to Apex after a while. Because I have not been playing Apex.
Recharging shields.
Seriously. Oh my gosh. Where's our teammate? Off in Neverland. It was a 3v2. I mean, like, you see what I mean here? I mean, I get paired with 2 terrible teammates. I mean, the other guys weren't even that good. It's just the fuse would just stay back and not help me and the Pathfinder was using the Spitfire, which pretty much gives you all you need to know about this Pathfinder. Not to mention he had no skin, which is definitely, you know, a sign of really great. I have no skin for Valkyrie. That's because I literally just got her yesterday.
No cluster foxtrots in my unit. Let's run this. This is more than a battlefield to me.
Speaking of battlefields, I'm planning on streaming Battlefield sometime, so stay tuned if you want that. I also stream on Twitch more often, so I might there might be a link in one of my videos for Twitch. If there isn't, it's BrokeTooth123 at Twitch TV.
Let's go.
Broke_tooth123 at Twitch TV. And you see how in my username there is no TTV, though I have a Twitch account. There is no TTV. You see that? So all you people with a TTV in your name, I want you to take it out, because no one needs to know that you stream. No one. No one needs to know. You seriously just rush me with that much health? Let me see this. Alright. Let's compare this match to the last. I was paired with a terrible teammates. And you know, I was just paired with super terrible teammates, and and we lost instantly. Now I'm playing against someone who rushed me at like 2 health.
If the fence gets crossed, we know.
So I mean, like, I think that when a good match comes around, Arena just hits different. But I also think that the matchmaking system definitely needs to be revised.
Crashing and burning here, people. Let's scan this area. Crashing and burning here, people. Crashing and burning here, people.
I mean, this Octane rushed me when he was punching health. I could have punched him. Also, kind of don't really get the point of emotes. I think they're a cool addition and all, but I don't really see the point.
Smoke out. Let's reposition. Saw someone up there. Stay focused. Let's go this way.
Okay, this guy started second got me. Actually, this Valkyrie is not too bad. It's not bad. Yeah. So, I'd have to think that skill-based matchmaking should be more present in arenas.
Contact. On the marker. Hold on.
Got a bandit.
Res. Almost got him. Maybe I'll try and not rush the entire team this time. Also, you people with TTV in your name, I hate you, alright, man? If you have TTV or YT in your name, I hate you. I am streaming on YouTube, which means I have a YouTube channel, and I also have a Twitch account.
Wings up.
What does that mean? I have to put YT or TTV in my name? No.
Closed door here. Enemy spotted. Near me.
We can scan this area.
Hostile over there.
Reloading.
Oh my gosh, switch. Oh my god.
Taking a knee. Catching up. Reloading.
You got him.
Reloading. Down to target.
Let's go here.
Nice.
One more point and we win the whole enchilada.
Wingman. Actually, I haven't used the wingman in a while. Wingman is actually one of my favorite weapons. I'm surprised I haven't used it.
Wings up. Bogey right here. Wings out. Reloading.
Reloading.
Wings up.
Recharge this. They're fighting hits on me. Let's get to the LZ. Taking a knee.
Heal. This is a spot. Okay, see that's a problem. I did not know that the time was so short on Arena. You got him. He's one shot. Oh, super there too. That's one thing I did not account for. Well, I guess since I have no more suggestions, that I shall leave, or I shall, you know, stop streaming. So, peace out. Have a wonderful day. Subscribe if you want, and